Ahoy Jadies and Lentlemen, here is the Mephrospective to interrupt a quickie. Don't take that literally, you thirsty fucks. I have to express something very random that came to mind when playing against the newest Sonic Frontier's first boss. While dabbling into the first boss, I figured something. This boss battle is the most important for a gamer. What do I mean by that? Well, how about we jump into this small little rant with a little bit of background to understand why is it important to understand Giganto's fight. In the early 90s, Sega gathered Sonic Team, which was the eventual name of a developer team to create Sonic the Hedgehog, a series of games in the Sega Genesis which brought the mascot to compete against the Titan Mario from Nintendo. And it was a battle of the ages with 3 generations of consoles to battle for domination. You already know the platforming of Mario, but Sonic the Hedgehog was a fast-paced platformer with very upbeat music and a character with a lot of cocky personality, spanning multiple games in that era. But I wasn't introduced to Sonic until the generation of the Game Boy Advance. Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, and Sonic Battle were phenomenal games. I spent so much time on them, and it got me into fast-paced platformers, which slowly got me into games like Cloud Build, Freedom Planet, and the gameplay with Warframe's parkour. It was adrenaline rush to the fullest, and I lived for the Sonic comfort of rushing through every obstacle with a passion. Then my love started with the secondary franchise of Sonic that dominated Sonic Team, the Sonic 3D games. You see, when Sega released the Dreamcast, a console to compete in the Polygon 3D realm, they had games like Shenmue, Panzer Dragoon, Phantasy Star, but Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 were on the forefront of the console. But Sega unfortunately lost the console wars after the Titan matches against Nintendo. Nintendo's too strong, and with so much loss, they became a third-party development, even working titles under Nintendo. The Adventure games were released on the GameCube, and that is how I got introduced to the 3D Sonic games, with wonderful fast-paced 3D platforming, quirky characters with wonderful relationships, Tails as a great sidekick character that little by little through both games grows into his own independent character as a little brother. Amy, who chases after Sonic constantly due to him saving her life back in the past. A young love. Knuckles, a friendly rival-like friendship with Sonic, who instead of speed uses brute force, being a loyal guardian from his ancient clan connected to the Chaos Emeralds. Shadow, the edgiest character ever created in video game history, that brought so much history to the franchise with his tragic backstory and rivalry with Sonic, even bringing the idea that Sonic might not be the fastest. These games truly became a joy like no other. And then...
All living things kneel before your master.
Sonic Heroes was a great game that, even with its many flaws, trying to be much faster than its predecessors, it shows the variety of gameplay that I love from the Adventure games. Had multiple characters throughout the franchise join forces in groups to go on an adventure and face the villain of the franchise. Oh yeah, Dr. Robotnik/Eggman is the villain of the games. Since the 3D game started, he gets overshadowed. He got overshadowed by Chaos, an ancient being form of the Chaos Emeralds that was a water dragon. He got overshadowed both by Shadow the Hedgehog and by a lizard that were the creations of his grandfather to cure diseases, but eventually with the tragedies made them villains of humanity. And now he is overshadowed by Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic was a robotic copy of Sonic that was made to be better than Sonic, and it succeeded. Metal Sonic is an ever-evolving mechanical being that learns from its failures to become stronger and better to the point that he threatened Sonic's life multiple times. And now he gathered the abilities and knowledge of the friends and enemies Sonic had in the last decade to create this dragon-like amalgamation to face Sonic. It takes 3 superpower characters to face him and take him down, and even then, it was such a close battle. God, it was awesome, and I can't wait what they come up with in the next series. Shadow the Hedgehog, I admit, I love to the fullest. The guiltless pleasure of shooting and slashing your enemies, choosing whatever path you wanted, giving you a kiddie version of Infamous. Except you have to replay the game multiple times to get all the different levels of hero and villain and neutrality to unleash the final story. And I wanted to make up for the sloppy speed of Sonic Heroes, turning Shadow into a very sluggish Hedgehog, making the platforming a huge problem. Well, after this, what do we get?
You don't want to be like this. This is disgusting. This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would.
Back when I was an internet dweller, I kept going to Sega.com and faced once a trailer that hyped me up so much for the next upcoming game of the Sonic franchise. A reboot of the Hedgehog in celebration of his 15th anniversary. And when the game released, it had the best soundtrack ever had. But the game was rushed, unfinished. It had so many gameplay styles and such a mess of control. But the story, Jesus, the story was wonderful. A hype story of the hero and the princess, which is your basic way to create a game story. Best Eggman design ever. Silver stuck in a dreadful post-apocalyptic future, willing to do anything to save his timeline. And Shadow trying to move on from his past, becoming an agent and fighting his inner darkness with a Temptations villain, Mephrospective, who is a very wonderful depiction of Mephistopheles from the novel Faust, trying to use Shadow's darkness and Silver's uncertainty and naivety against each other. Bar none the best villain in the franchise. He even fucking killed Sonic! And with all of that, so to this day, Sonic 06 is infamously the worst game ever released in the franchise, showing the way Sonic Team was crunched and rushed. And then...
previously unexplored, wild and vile.
Finally, something interesting. Ha! All right, let's do it.
If truly free, be stopped never through all that's happening.
This was the peak of Sega's Experimentation Era, using Sonic to try on different game styles and engines trying to see what would stay, making him become a knight facing the Black Knight Arthur and incarnations of his friends in this timeline. Sonic getting some way in the Arabian Nights and facing an evil Gene, and he faces the multiple myths and legends of the stories, both with controls that did not work well. They were so out of place for Sonic. And, oh god, and then... Starting now, Sonic Team implemented a new mechanic on Sonic that they had been trying to develop since Sonic 06, the Boost. This starts the Boost era, when Sonic had his moments to increase humongously in one swing his speed, like the true speed demon he was meant to be. And when Sonic Unleashed came, I lost my shit. Having Sonic pass through stages like nothing, breaking the wind and sound in such a visual orgasm was gratifying. And Sonic getting entangled with another one-time sidekick and now being cursed with a Lovecraftian creature to become a dark being himself and becoming actual 3D platforming like his competitor Mario. And some beat-em-up combat which was very satisfying. Everything was just grand, but people still wanted more than just Teen Wolf Sonic, so what if you take away the side of the gameplay and keep the boost? Sonic Colors was a very dynamic change of pace. No ancient beings, no creatures to overtake Eggman as a villain. Eggman already did his evil plan of creating his own dystopia in another place, and now Sonic has to defeat him. No Chaos Emeralds, no super shit, just bare basic Sonic and story gameplay with the boost. Good guy, bad guy, and you are done. And as simple as it has a lot of gameplay evolution, with the Wisp being multiple power-ups for Sonic, kind of like how Mario has had multiple power-ups throughout his career. But the visuals, the music, the style, and the speed all feel so vivid, so alive. And I do admit, I hated this game at first, especially with the music, but it grew on me so much. It was such an impact to the venerated as one of the best 3D Sonic games out there, even earning a remaster. Oh boy, we can only keep going, boost force forward, right? Right? Oh, thank God, that pause did not lead to something bad. So, Sonic Generations was a joyful celebration of both franchises created by Sonic Team. The 3D Sonic games and the 2D Sonic games, which even though the Sonic games are 2D didn't come to the forefront as much, we had so much in the portable games and even from the fan creations. And with this, we have a way to remember all of the games together, and it works so wonderfully, both with the classic Sonic gameplay and the modern Sonic's current system. Of course, Eggman is the main villain, but now it is two fucking geniuses with Robotnik joining him to create this amalgamation of time rendering. It's fun! Oh my god, I can't wait to see what comes next!
This is awful in every way. If I could kill it, I would. But I legally can't. But I've considered it.
So now that Sega is a respected establishment, let's fuck it up, shall we? Firstly, we had a Mario Galaxy physical clone that used clunky parkour. Oh god! Introducing multiple new baddies with Tails still the loyal sidekick as always, and Sonic just being a cocky jerk. Actually, during this era, Sonic acts as cockiest and jerky as he has ever been. And it truly shows.
Baldy McNose here.
This time, Sega made a contract to do 3 Nintendo exclusive games. The first was this, which had a very family-friendly sense. It brought back the Wisp and the gameplay of the bosses was very subpar. It was a huge disappointment, even music-wise.
It's time to stop! It's time to stop, okay? No more!
Oh Jesus, we are talking about this catastrophe. You think Sonic 06 was the lowest Sega could ever reach. It fucking tanked with this. And the worst part is that the 2 games that came out of this spin-off franchise they were trying to create, a messy family-friendly game that redesigned all the characters and dumbed them down. A generic, forgettable villain in a show that even though brought many memes to life, it was still very average.
Meme! Look at you. You who were once so proud. Go now and never return.
This was beyond rock bottom, and it showed how unfinished all of these games were. They were short and so glitchly broken, easy to mess with, and while the community laughed at the mess it made, it truly shows how heavy the weight on Sonic Team was at this point. Though, another side was shining. While Nintendo likes to DMCA their fucking fan creators like a wretched high school snowflake in their time of the month after Taco Bell breakfast,
Vacuums.
Sega started to do a different approach after many years and gave a chance to independent fan creators, and eventually, Sonic Team invited and hired developers that eventually created Sonic Mania. Sonic Mania is a good fucking remix and nostalgia orgasm of the best of the Sonic 2D games, and with so much new content that it gives a sensation of closure to the 2D franchise as its own. Even bringing back old classic characters as Amy and Metal Sonic and even... who the fuck is this guy? But the love in this game shows, and we were teased about something that could happen in the future, and many of us thought it would bring Mephrospective back. But... when Sonic Forces was teased, everyone lost their shit, both for the good and the bad. Firstly, bringing back classic Sonic, which would mean they would reuse Green Hill Zone once again. Oh boy! Then, we were shown we could create our own character. That has been decades of people hoping to make their own character. Finally, it came full circle. And then, the new villain being so hyped. All of the past villains sucking on this guy's dick. That is some big black stallion energy. But then the game released and it was the shortest Sonic game in 3D we have ever seen. Jesus, the enemies were a joke, and with Eggman finally winning the war, establishing his Eggman dystopia in the planet, it truly enforces that this could have been a darker game. But nope. The main character being the new custom created character that is Mute. And classic Sonic jumped into the mix just because apparently Sonic Mania is connected to this. And the villain being a skunk that his only reason to become evil was because Shadow beat him and roasted him. Fuck that, wait, this sounds familiar.
He is a literal giant f***ing baby!
So, kind of what you're being right now.
You're just mad you're not the legendary Super Namekian.
Alright, bye Vegeta.
Ah!
After that disappointment of a mess, it was obvious there wasn't going to be anything going up since Sonic Generations, to the point that people started to mod Sonic Generations to fit in ways they loved it. It was more than just Dark Ages, all because Sega kept on creating crunch and rushing times on Sonic Team, which is why Sonic 06 failed so badly before. And now, we weren't just stuck with one single mess like Sonic 06. We had many that disappointed us. Then, we had a teaser for what we thought was gonna be a fan-made creation copy mess that was Sonic Omens. Oh yeah, there was a project by a fan named Sonic Omens, and even though it had so much love, it was so messy in the end that it disappointed so many people of the community. And then we realized this wasn't Sonic Omens. This was an open world Sonic game. We had low expectations beyond belief, nobody batted an eye. It was just Sonic Team playing with experimentation again, that's what we thought. They're going to disappoint us again, like it has been over a decade. It is pointless to Sonic Frontiers came to the world with teasers of it playing with us to a certain degree. We still had low expectations. I mean, after Crush 40 retired from making music for Sega, they had tried so hard to find good music on the games. And the music hasn't been too bad, but until now, they had nothing grand. Infinite's theme hit to a degree, and then Sonic Frontiers had some trailer with Queen's music, which everyone was doing for the longest time everywhere. Okay, so this is a new open world Sonic game. The fuck am I supposed to be excited about that? Wait. This music, it sounds like Crush 40. It can't be. No, it is not Crush 40. Not alternative rock, but new metal sleeping with sirens. This rolls so hard, it gave us a fucking boner beyond belief. But the game is good, right? The game is phenomenal, and honestly it has been getting a lot of credit out there. But the thing is, Sega did not just tease us with this. You see, they chose certain people to play the beta that had the first area and the first boss. And so when that happened, they really released the official first boss song.
I'm hanging on to the other side. I won't give up to the end of me.
You see, everyone was surprised that the first battle had a vocal theme. Up to this point, all vocal themes were intros, theme songs, or final bosses. But now, this boss is getting its own song, a monster that Sonic cannot even fucking touch. And so, for the first time, the only way Sonic can fight them is with Super Sonic using the Chaos Emeralds. Just like a final boss. But to face it, you have to level up your skills. You have to learn new abilities that we've only seen Sonic barely use in any other game in the past. And now it comes full circle. No power-ups, no perks, no gimmicks, just Sonic using his best of his abilities against a new force that towers over him. And honestly, this battle is symbolic. Just because of how it plays, the design of the boss and the song. When you fight Giganto, you are given a song, Undefeatable, thinking it might be about the boss. No, this is about you. It's about you picking up the controller, taking every breath, every blink, every single moment, reaching this part as the song tells you what's next with the lyrics.
Welcome to the mind of a different kind, where we've been growing slowly. Think I'm on 11, but I'm on a 9. Guess you don't really know me. Running from the past is a losing game. It never brings you glory. Been down this road before, already know this story.
Even fucking Twitter joined for once. No arguments, no memes, they fucking made threads to sing the song. Even memes all over the internet recreating epic moments with this song. But the thing is, while the lyrics can be inspiring, empowering, and badass from Kelly Quinn, it is an embodiment of Sonic Team's adversity. Up to this point, Sonic Team has pushed themselves to the blood, sweat, and tears that Sega has put on them from crunch, rushing, impossible expectations, traumatic times, discouragement, recessions, and a lot of backlash. And honestly, it makes Sonic Team feel human. Sonic is to us more than human. A mascot that has lived through so much damage and is barely hanging on a thread like us. Adversity is a gigantic and menacing monster that is overtowering us. But this moment embodies something Sonic 06 brought that not many understand.
Nothing starts until you take action. If you have time to worry, then run.
This scene is interpreted as if when faced with the struggles of this world, you are meant to run away. But in every single Sonic game, Sonic doesn't run away. He runs towards a problem. He faces the problem head on. He goes full speed before he can even think. And he does trip, he stumbles, he gets pushed and falls. He has failed so many times. But every time he failed, he stood up again and tried once more. Because in the end, what does it mean to be undefeatable? Is it to never lose? Is it to be the strongest and the best? No. Sonic taught us that in order to fight adversity, we must run face forward and cross the unknown frontiers like he always has. Because if you keep standing up, then you truly haven't been defeated. So puff up your chest. And don't worry. If you have time to worry, then you have time to run. Run forth. Feel the wind breaking in your skin as you glide through the darkness. Braze the flames of hell. Nothing matters. Live and learn. Show the world what you're made of. Never turn back. This is your world. Face the day. Rock the place. It's a world of endless possibilities. Reach for the stars. Find your flame. Break through it all, vandalize all obstacles. You are here, and you are
adventure's no fun if it's too easy.
I just gotta do what I've gotta do! This is my power, and I'm not using it to run away anymore. I'm using it to protect my friends. Nothing starts until you take action. If you have time to worry, then run.